Alright, I'm gonna start reading something until we're ready. Chapter 1 Rogue. It was a beautiful day on planet Earth. The sun was shining, the people were just going about their business and taking in the peace and quiet. There was no screaming and running from any monster or robot attacks, nor were there any police responding to the usual bank robbery or two. Everything has been going very well for the citizens. Somewhere in the city, there was a familiar sight most of the city was used to. That sight being a blue bipedal hedgehog wearing a black sleeveless shirt, a matching pair of black fingerless gloves with blue highlights at the bottom of the wrist, baggy blue cargo pants with a dark blue design on his right leg, a pair of his iconic extreme gear glasses, hold on, and sneakers combination with the color of the latter being black with blue highlights instead of the usual metallic crimson, playfully smirking while simultaneously shredding concrete on a skateboard just for the fun. However, despite the different wardrobe, everyone who saw the hog knew the identity quite well from the countless times he had saved the world from certain doom. Everyone who saw him knew that this creature was none other than the legendary Blue Blur, Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, it's Sonic. If you recognize this fanfiction, I'm sorry. His smirk now forming into a grin. Is it bad? um it depends on your definition of bad. If you think quantity over quality is bad, no, it's not bad. It's got 360 chapters. I don't know if there's like a word count. Apparently there's over a million words. How do I go to the desktop site? There we go. So let me read you some of the chapter names for this. So chapter 1 was Rogue. Okay. Chapter 5 is Starfire. Chapter 9's April O'Neil. Chapter 19's Harley Quinn. Chapter 23's Bayonetta. 26 Chun-Li. Let's see here. Travis got on quick. Oh, let me get you to the real meat. 73's Tifa Lockhart. 81's Android 18. I think it's like 127 or something. 189's Delia Ketchum. 200's Rainbow Dash. Okay, no, this is pissing me off. I know I saw it somewhere. 105's Miku Hatsune, as written by the author. Anyway, I'm gonna continue reading. His smirk now forming into a grin, the Blur was as relaxed as he could be, and was very much enjoying the period of relief this peaceful day provided. Seconds later, he noticed the entrance of a general store coming up, which immediately reminded him of his thirst. Without breaking the mental beat he had set up in his head, the Blur lightly stomped his foot down onto the skateboard. Once he scooped it up, he went right inside to nab himself a bottle of water. At that time, even though he knew his penchant for doing so, the hog was certain he wasn't bumping into... Hold on. I'm not misspeaking this stuff on purpose. This is how it's written. Okay. The hog was certain he wasn't bump into anyone he knew, and that this trip was going to be your average get in, get out kind of deal. But lo and behold, the moment he set foot inside the place was the moment his gaze ended up locking onto a familiar blonde bounty hunter who was smiling with glee, her day clearly having been made by just the mere sight of her friend. This is a Wattpad. Nah, this is fanfiction.net. You know what's wild? This isn't even my first time reading this in a YouTube video. I've got a secret, like, I don't even know what number channel, where my coworkers and I would take turns. Like, we would assign roles, and then we would read through multiple chapters of, I won't say the name of the thing, but we would read through, and some of it's gotta be the funniest shit I've ever heard, especially with the terrible grammar in this. Samus Aran. Well, I'll be. What are you doing here? Sonic greeted with one hand, going to grab the bottle on the shelf next to him, while the other went to shake the hunters. Oh well, most Sonic fans are crazy. You have no idea. You know me, Sonic. I'm just here gathering a few supplies. It's good to see you, by the way. Samus responded, her voice filled with overwhelming warmth. Same here, the blur replied. It was definitely a nice surprise. So, how's life been treating you? Seconds later, the hunter let out a small sigh of frustration. Leave Samus alone. A reaction that Sonic had seen quite frequently. So much so, in fact, that already he was forming the reason for why this was in his mind right as she started to voice it. Sometimes I gotta just turn my brain off just so I can read it as God intended. Well, Ridley broke out of containment again 2 nights ago, a mere day after I had recaptured him, which meant I had to spend the good half of the day tracking him down, which wasn't too fun, especially with the bruises I received. I'm gonna tell you right now, in that whole sentence, not a single comma. Just as quickly as it came, Samus's scrunched brow quickly faded and her face went back into being a warm smile. But other than that, it has been pretty good, I'd say. Speaking of which, how's your day been? It's been good, Sonic began before moving on to the big question he had on his mind. So, how's Snake been? Is he still going out with you? With a light chuckle, the hunter crossed her arms. He's been well though. He's been well, though we never were an item. We did go out one last time the week before, but like usual, it's always been as friends. Samus began, though I do wonder who told you we were dating. Immediately, the image of a certain feathered pilot came into mind. Let me guess, Falco told you. Yep, Sonic said, with a nod, prompting Samus to let out a slightly longer chuckle in response. That guy has practically made it his mission to figure out my love life. Sonic immediately smirked. Heh, no kidding. I should have known it was just him up to his old tricks. Like how he once said you were going out with Mario, Samus finished, her lips now forming into a big stupid grin. Oh, don't remind me. I still get the giggles every time I think back to that, especially when Peach actually started believing it, which caused him to to show up. Noticing she was starting to crack up, the blur immediately took over, which caused him to show up to Star Fox HQ, his face red as a beet. Oh, I remember that, especially when he tossed him across the room and got his beak stuck in the wall. He certainly got the idea to never mess with him, I'd say. Man, what am I doing? Even before he said it, the usually reserved bounty hunter just lost it and started to crack up like there was no tomorrow. And it was at this unusual sight that the few people that were in there around the two started to do the same. Hell, even Sonic couldn't resist cracking up. Oh hey, what's up, Dusk? God, I don't know if I'm gonna be uploading that at all. Oh no. Oh my god. Were you listening to it? Okay, good. Shoot, I might actually have another 4th April Fool's video. Alright, cool. So I think the story of that fanfic was made by a 13-year-old. The grammar in the first chapter isn't bad, but the deeper you go, it just gets worse and cringier. I think of that fanfic, I read like maybe up to chapter 5 before I gave up. Alright. I'm ready to start this.